Okay, so then 2008 rolls around, and you go in training camp out of shape again.
Mm-hmm.
The head coach, Mike D'Antoni.
Mike
D'Antoni, sorry.
Yeah.
Wasn't your biggest fan.
Not at all. Not at all.
And I guess that year you actually lost your starting job.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I mean, I lost it because I got hurt. I ended up getting, like, during that time I had knee surgery. Like, I had knee surgery, 1 or 2 knee surgeries that summer. So I knew what was going to happen. The writing was on the wall. I mean, I think they got it. They bought in Amari Stoudemire at that point, which was his player that he had in Phoenix when he was coaching him. Which, I mean, Amari was still dope as hell anyway. So I get that. And I mean, I wasn't ready to go. I mean, I'm not going to put the blame on nobody. I was hurt. Had to have my surgery. I wasn't ready to go. So yeah. At one point, I was ready to go though, and he was like, "I'm not playing him." We had meetings with him, with my agent and with the GM at the time, Donnie Walsh, and he's just like flat out, "I'm not playing him. I don't care what he does. I don't care what kind of shape he's in. I'm not playing him." And so at that point, we like, well, how are we supposed to get a trade if you won't play him? You got to at least play him so that we can get a trade. And he's like, "I don't care. I'm not playing him." So I mean, that was kind of how that went with D'Antoni.
Well, 2009 rolls around. Tracy McGrady joins the Knicks.
Right.
And at that point, you're actually working with a trainer and you start to lose a lot of weight. You lost like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So you started to get back in shape. I mean, at that point, did things start to improve for you?
Nah, he wasn't playing me. He already said he wasn't playing me. It was already understood he was not gonna play me. At that point, I knew I had to just be in shape for whatever was coming next.
Okay. And then some very interesting and tragic things start to happen around this time. So first of all, you end up getting sued by your former chauffeur.
Right.
David Kaczynski?
I'm not gonna say his name because I did a piece, bro, with the Players Tribune, the people who I got my podcast with now. We did a piece on me and just kind of talking about all the stuff that I had went through in my life. And I want to say his name came up or just the situation came up. And he tried to, sue us again. So I personally won't say his name. I'll say that I had a pilot and that the pilot, the pilot definitely sued me for sure.
Okay, so this man
right
sued you for soliciting sex from him. He's saying that on 2 times you approached him in the nude saying, "Look at me, come and touch it, Dave." He also claimed to use racial slurs, and he claimed you owed him $68,000 in unpaid wages, $25,000 in expenses. I mean, this just sounds like a ridiculous situation.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know exactly I don't know the details of the suit, but I could tell you, I mean, me and that person, bro, it's one of them things, bro, I just should have listened to people, honestly. When I first went to the Knicks, I met him when I first went to the Knicks. And like I told you, I went there late. I was there in training camp, so we leave training camp and go straight to New York. I didn't have any cars. there or anything, so they had a car service take me places. So the very first car service that took me somewhere, this person was the driver for that car service, that company. I felt so comfortable with him, he was telling me his whole life story, on the way to the games and stuff. And I just felt like giving him a chance. He told me he had a past. He told me that, things had been hard for him. And, he told me that he had actually, went to jail and things were turning around for him. And I just felt like, man, let me give him a shot. So I'm like, man, you know what? I'm going to hire you. It started off as me requesting him. Every time they would give me a driver, I'm like, yo, let me get him because I felt comfortable with him. Let me get him. And it went from that to, man, how much do you get paid, bro? Let me just, I'm gonna double your salary. I just want you to be my driver. And he became my friend. He was like a great friend. He would come in the summertime, after the season was over, I would pay him year round. He would come to my house he would he had a room in my house. He played with my kids. Like, this was a part of my family. He was a part of my family, bro. It came a time though where he started to build his own family. Like, he had his own family. He had I think a daughter already, but he met somebody else and they were having a child together or had just had a child together. So he was trying to not do as much stuff with me on the work side because he wanted to try to do something that would allow him to be home more, especially in the summers and stuff like that. So I understood that. I wasn't tripping about that. And he actually had me write him a recommendation. I wrote him a recommendation. I actually let him write the recommendation. I signed it or whatever. And he got the job with the people. Now, for some reason, he gets fired by the people. I don't know what happened between him and those people, but he got fired from that job. And so I was in New York at the time. I think the season was going on. And I was and at the time, my assistant was the same dude who did the insurance thing, right? So, but this is before the insurance thing. It might have been the same year, but just earlier in the year or something like that. So he's like, so the driver starts calling me first, like, man, you know, I got fired, bro. Can I get my job back? I'm like, I don't really need a driver. You know, my guy is driving me now, kind of. And plus my family's not here no more because at the time, Patrice and the kids, they just stayed in Chicago because like the writing was already on the wall. They was only there to go to the games and, you know, really support me and stuff. But when they knew I wasn't playing, we didn't rent a big house. We kind of, you know, just downgraded in New York so I could have minimal things because I knew a trade was going to come any day now. So she stayed back in Chicago. I'm like, I don't need a driver, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't justify hiring a driver again, bro. And I'm like, and when I go back to Chicago, Patrice don't really think we need a driver there either. So I'm like, you know, like, nah, I can't do it. But it goes from him, you know, asking for his job back to kind of demanding his job back. And when it got to that point, I stopped even responding to him. So then he starts hitting my guy, my right-hand guy, my manager dude. And he used to show me the messages like, man, look at this shit, man. Dude is like, he's trying to turn up with me. He's trying to get crazy with me. Like, man, you know, tell Eddie if he don't, you know, hire me, then I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell Patrice that, you know, he used to have me pick up girls and do this and do that. And I'm like, bro, tell him to fuck off, bro. So then it goes from that to, like, if he don't hire me, you know, he would pay me cash. And he never paid taxes on the money that he gave me. So if he don't hire me then, or if he don't give me this amount of money, I'm going to report him to the IRS or something. And at this point, we just laughing. And I'm like, man, do what you got to do, bro. I don't even care. So it goes from that, it goes silent for a while, bro. And I'll never forget, I was in Dallas. We were playing the Mavericks. And I'm about to walk out the locker room at the end of the game. And our PR guy is like, have you heard of, and he said his name. He's like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, of course I know him. He's like, well, he's suing you and the vultures are here. And I look around and all the media is just right there. I'm like, what? So he shows me the article and I'm just like, what? Like, of course it's like, oh, gay this and that. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So I had to, like, you know, address it. And then I don't know. It was crazy, man. But yeah, he ended up suing me, bro. I ended up having to pay him, bro. And it was crazy to me because I'm like, why do I never understood why I had to pay him. Like, it just was the craziest thing, man. And I remember they made me, like, before the case was over, the judge, like, demanded that we have, like, a mediation time with just me and him in the room. And I'm just like, so he passes me this card, right? This basketball card of mine with some, like, weird story, like, man, I remember when I first drove you and this and that, and I found this card when I was cleaning the car out, and, you know, I just wanted to give it back to you, man. I never meant for any of this to happen. Like, he's apologizing to me. And I'm sitting here like, bro, you did all of this and you gonna apologize? Like, that's crazy, bro. You got me out here looking crazy, bro. Like, I'm like, man, whatever, bro. Only reason I'm here is because the judge made me do this. Like, this don't even make no sense. At the end of this, I still got to give you that dollar amount, and it is what it is, bro. So I ended up having to pay him, bro, like 6 figures. for
Six figures.
6 figures, bro, on some, and not 100,000 and not 200,000. I had to pay him 6 figures, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been through lawsuits myself. I've been sued, and I remember being in arbitration as well. And I remember us saying, this is bullshit. This person is lying.
This person is lying, bro.
And the arbitrator said, the truth doesn't matter. We're just here to get to a number.
That's it. That's all they cared about. That's all they cared about, man. And at that point, bro, I had been in the court system enough, like with my ex and just different things. I kind of knew how it was gonna work. I was just devastated, like, man, I can't believe he would do that to me. Like, I really was his number one fan. Like, I was the guy when everybody was like, yo, this is a bad idea, don't hire him. Like, literally when we first hired him, when I first decided to hire him, I had a team. My team consisted of private investigators. So they did a background check on him. They're like, bro, this dude got multiple felonies. Like, don't hire him. I'm like, bro, I know I don't care what he has. I'm telling you, he a good dude. I'm hiring this dude, bro. And it was a bad decision, bro, for real. And like, it's just crazy because it's funny, like, even my own homies would be like, man, why was you saying that gay shit to him? I'm like, bro, I ain't, like, bro, y'all know me better than that, bro. I'm a lot of things, bro, and I don't got no problem with gay people, but I'm clearly not gay, bro. Like, it's just crazy. You know, like, and it was funny because the shit he would put in there, bro, like, my wife's dad, right, he's from Belize, right? So they had a playful relationship. He was a part of the family. And so it was to the point where everybody joked with him and he joked back. Like, he would call my wife's dad like a beaner. Like, he would call him these derogatory type of playful, like names, you know what I'm saying? Like, playful something that you would never call somebody, but he would call him that. And then he would call him stuff back. But that was the shit that was in the lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? That was the type of shit that was like, oh, well, he called me this. And I was like, bro, you called him, you know, this and that. Like, what are you talking about? And y'all was joking and playing. Y'all would say this while sharing a beer and while fishing and jet skiing and shit. What are you talking about? But it was that type of shit. So I can't get on the stands and be like, first off, they didn't even ask me if I said what I said or anything. They didn't care. They didn't care about all they cared about, like you said, was the dollar amount. All they looked at was like, this how much you make per year, and that money is not gonna hurt you. And that's just that's how they did it.
I mean, was it a little awkward in the locker room where suddenly you have this gay lawsuit and, you know, the dudes are in the locker room looking at you crazy while they're showering?
I mean,
and like, yo, man.
I mean, it was not really, because they knew me. You know what I'm saying? My teammates know me, and they knew him. And most of them didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, everybody know everybody. Like, I know all Nate's people, all his homies, all his assistants, I know all of them, and they know all my people. And everybody, to a man, was always like, bro, get rid of this dude. Like, what are you doing with him? But I'm just like, no, that's my homie, bro. Like, he weird, he's different, but that's my homie, bro. No, I'm not getting rid of him. And that's just kind of how it was. But yeah, I mean, people that knew me, but that's how I knew that other people in the league probably were thinking that shit, but they would never say that to me because I smacked the shit out of somebody. But they would never say that to me just because I knew it was being said, because my homies would playfully say some shit like that. And I'm just like, man, y'all funny, ha ha ha. But they knew better though. My homies, my teammates, they know better.